Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Yuzo Kano, CEO of Bitflyer.
Hi, and I'm Bartek Gringwalski, COO of Bitflyer USA.
Today, we're going to actually explain what Bitflyer is doing for the 15 minutes. This is our mission: make the world simpler through blockchain. So blockchain describes both virtual currencies and the blockchain technology itself. We are very unique that we have the virtual currency exchanges in Japan, and we have the original blockchain named Miyabi. So we are a tech company, try to drive the world by technology, and try to actually drive innovation. I'm the co-founder. Used to work for Goldman Sachs as an engineer and trader. So I actually experienced both finance and tech, so-called fintech. And my counterpart is used to work for Sony and engineer of the Goldman Sachs. We've been running the exchange for the last 4 years in Japan, Tokyo. So we have two different services. Mainly actually the virtual currencies exchange for the B2C, and then blockchain is B2B. Blockchain is pretty much actually technical. We're going to explain later. Here's actually stats. We have just over 1 million users in Japan. We have a $50 billion US transaction per month, which is really big. And we have actually 100 billion US transaction of Bitcoin year to date. So we are by far the biggest exchange in Japan, dominating 80% market share. So we are ranked #1 in the world. If you count in the FX, this is actually leverage trading, such as like futures. We are maybe dominating 30 to 40% of the market share at this moment. And we have actually some altcoins, especially if you look at the second from the right, that's called the Mona coin. It's very popular in Japan. We haven't decided if we list all of them, but we try to list some altcoins to US as well. So we have the license in Japan, which is so-called actually virtual currencies license. This is actually a very specific license to operate the virtual currencies exchange. And then we have Miyabi. That's actually pretty much technology. We call it the next generation blockchain. Blockchain, I think you need 3 requirements to call a blockchain. Immutability, that you cannot actually change the data or overwrite the data anymore. So that's the reason why Bitcoin is very trustable. You cannot change the data because there's a lot of actually hash chain depending on the past blocks. So if you change the data, the future data will be broken. That's why this is called immutability, that you cannot change or overwrite the data at all. The two, like Byzantine fault tolerance, which is so-called like a BFT. If you have the blockchain, and there's a lot of actually nodes. If the one node actually goes down, still you can communicate and come up with the right data. This is actually a very specific function of the blockchain that the Bitcoin blockchain has. And then single point of failure. Single point failure is one node actually goes down. And if the actually whole system goes down, this is called like a single point of failure. So better to actually avoid those kind of the computer. We have some patents on the private blockchain. So Bitcoin blockchain is called a public blockchain, so anybody can join. But the private blockchain, like Hyperledger Fabric, is called a private blockchain. So we developed the private blockchain named Miyabi. Miyabi is, we actually think it's the world's fastest blockchain. So blockchain itself is very slower than the usual database. Like Oracle can handle 100,000 transactions per second, but the Bitcoin can only handle 6 to 7 transactions per second. So people try to actually develop the faster blockchain, and the MIA so far by far the fastest that can handle your 4,000 TPS. Japanese Bankers Association nominated the partner, 4 partners, Entity Data, Hitachi, Fujitsu, and Bitflyer. So we're going to provide our technology to the Japanese Bankers Association blockchain POC. We have an office in Tokyo and San Francisco and Luxembourg. So this is a picture of the Tokyo headquarters. We are in the very center of Tokyo. So I'm going to switch to Bartek now.
Thank you, Yuzo. So I'm going to make 3 announcements today. First, I want to give a background on Bitflyer in the United States. So Yuzo was telling me on the way to the conference about how he conceived of Bitflyer in the US. And I sort of imagined it came after he had already had a lot of success in Japan, but that's not the case. Bitflyer was formed out of a bakery in Tokyo. And while working in that bakery, Yuzo already had the idea for launching the US. So the idea was conceived sort of at the inception of Bitflyer Japan. In 2015, it got formal board approval to actually form the entity. And then in 2016, they actually incorporated the company. January of 2017, we opened the office, and then shortly after, hired our first employee. And then in September of this year, we had our first trade. So in Japan, we're doing $50 billion worth of trades per month. But in September of this year, we did our first. So our first announcement is that Bitflyer in the US is live as of today. And thank you. Thank you. And we're not just live. We're live in 41 states. That's really hard. Unlike Japan, where you have one country, one set of rules, and actually Yuzo was pretty instrumental in helping form the virtual currency law that he talked about. In the US, we're governed by 50 states, 1 district, and a couple of other territories. So launching a virtual currency exchange, even when you have the technology behind it already created, it's very difficult in the US. So we spent the last 2 years getting licensure and working with state regulators to operate. So today, on our launch day, we're launching with about 90% of the US population covered. So that's announcement 1. Announcement 2 is that Bitflyer loves New York, much like most of you love New York. And that sounds a little cryptic, so let me decrypt it. Today, we were issued the New York Bit license to be the second Bitcoin exchange in the country to be issued the New York Bit license. So this is kind of a funny announcement because when you talk to most people about it, they're like, OK, so what? But for people in this room, I think you realize how difficult that is to do. And the bar is extremely high, and this is the outcome of months and months of hard work with people from Bitflyer Japan and Bitflyer USA. But it's really important to us because we think that New York is a capital for Bitcoin activity today and in the future. Personally, I also love New York and lived here for quite a long time. The product that we're launching is called Bitflyer Lightning. So Lightning is a professional trading platform that offers features that other platforms don't have yet. We think it's the most advanced trading platform in the world. We offer daily P&L, delta, and special orders, as well as more common features like market orders, limit orders, et cetera. Users can interact with it through our web interface, which you see here, or through our API. And who we think are the people who will most resonate with our product are institutions, which is why being here is so special. So Yuzo mentioned this earlier, but he was a trader at Goldman Sachs. And that DNA has really permeated the entire company. And when you use our product for trading, if you're trading other asset classes, it'll feel very familiar because its heart comes from New York and its heart comes from Wall Street. The third thing I want to announce is that we're launching with 0 fees until the end of 2017. So please join, because there's literally no cost to try it out. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about the future. One of the interesting things about Bitflyer is that we, in Japan, are the dominant marketplace. To give you an idea of what that dominance means, we have 80% market share in Japan and about 30% market share in the world, being only in Japan. So offering access to that liquidity pool and order books for US institutions, we think will be extremely valuable. This will be live in the coming weeks. And one more thing. We're not stopping with the US. There will be more announcements for international expansion coming very soon. Thank you. And I want to invite everyone here to come to our after consensus event at 7 o'clock at the View to celebrate our launch, our New York Bit license, and hopefully having all of you as traders. Thank you.
Thank you.